Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So, we're going to go over dragons. I've done reinforcement, gear, reinforcement, generals. I do have a little bit more gear to go over. What is the ideal reinforcement gear for generals? But here, we're going to look at dragons. And some of this is going to be discussed about reinforcement. So it does fit in well with our reinforcement series. And also just what should you do with your dragons. So I'm going to start this out as you're a normal player. You get your dragons one by one. And I'm going to tell you what to do with them. And then as you get other ones, we're going to go back and we'll discuss where you could use those dragons. So first one, you're going to get Celtic. No argument here. This is a ranged dragon. You're going to put this on your archer march. The reason being, archers are the best attack early in game, right? Everybody builds horses so they can grow, and you're going to go kill them. So you want a dragon on your archer general. Here's the next dragon you're probably going to get, and this is going to go on your mounted general. There are a few exceptions. So very early in the game, Neff was one of the most forward-thinking alliances a long time ago and still today. And I remember they started to ask all their mid-level players to switch this dragon over to Siege. And the reason why they did that was because the theory was PvE, fighting monsters. We have our big players who are already killing monsters for you. So you don't need to really kill monsters. So let's focus on PvP. And Siege is very powerful. So move this dragon to Siege. But for most players, you're going to start out and it's going to be mounted. This dragon right here, you will start out with this as either your wall dragon, if you don't have Wonder 2 unlocked, or you'll use it for reinforcements, and you'll use it as a range reinforcement dragon. You could also use it to on a mounted general, just back up if you have 2 or 3 different dragons that are going to be attacking monsters. Obviously, that's for very elite players early going in game. Now, this one right here, this one is, let's get back to the regular talent on this one. This one is interesting, and this will be a ground general dragon for most people. It will convert easily to be a backup ground dragon, which would then help in city. But it's going to start out as your ground dragon. Your ground general dragon. Now, let's get over to the big dragons, the Dragon Cliff. And as we unlock each one of these, it gives us more options with early ones. So the first dragon most people are going to unlock here is going to be Wonder 1. No doubt, this is going to be used for almost everybody exclusively as their ground general dragon. Back in the day, there was no talents here. So all you had was this. And lots of people used it on a sub. But now with the talents, there's basically no reasonable explanation why you wouldn't use this as your main ground general dragon. Now, when you get that as a ground general dragon, you then can go back over here and you could turn this dragon, Fasolt, into a backup ground general dragon, and you can use it to reinforce teammates. That would be very handy because lots of your teammates are going to be getting attacked with archers early on. This is an obvious dragon that you would use on the wall. That's what it's designed for. It's going to be used on the wall as your wall general dragon. Now we go back over to the pasture, and we have this dragon, which has lots of in-city talents. So what are we to do with this? Well, if you look, there's in-city range attack, and then here, range attack. So pretty obvious. This could now become your archer reinforcing dragon. So a backup archer march. Back over to the Dragon Cliff. And we have our Wonder 3 dragon. This one, back in the day, some people used to use this as their range dragon. They're like, you know what? I like the color black. Black dragon's cool, and I don't have an all-star dragon, and I'd rather have a stronger archer march than mounted march, because it has march and archer here. But now it's pretty straightforward for almost everybody that this is a mounted dragon. And as soon as you get that, go over here, and if you didn't already at this point, Fafnir becomes a siege dragon. Now you have a siege dragon. That is a game changer for alliances. That's why it's so important for alliances to get players to unlock Wonder 3, because now you have players with a mounted dragon and a siege dragon. Basically a dragon for every march at that point once you start to get Wonder 3. Laden, archer dragon. No if, ands, abouts about it. The only thing here that you then could really look at is you could have 3 archer dragons or 3 ground dragons, because Celtic can do ground as well. His talents aren't there, but he does have a little bit here, but it would be better for you to continue to use him as an archer dragon. And now you have 3 range marches if that's what you want. It could also free you up to then convert this one over to mounted, to have a second mounted dragon. Or siege, depending on your alliance. But it gives you options at that point. And now here we have Colchin, and this is the that's Leyden. We have Amaterasu. Do they look that similar? Am I blind? Right here, those are the 2 I was mixing up. So Amaterasu, ground dragon. No, nothing mixing that up. When you get him, you can now use this as your backup ground dragon. And then over here, most people generally, once they start to get to this point, all these dragons just become mounted dragons for backup. Have 3-4 marches with dragons going towards monsters, because you don't really need 3 ground marches. And then here, siege. Once you have the siege dragon, you now have 2, and now you have a backup dragon. At this point, you should then take this dragon, and you should probably convert him to flats and use it for T11. Or you could convert this dragon to flats, but not yet. And I actually have to change this. I did not change the refines on this because I just wasn't sure, what I was going to be doing for a while. I wanted to wait to see how the future wall dragon would turn out, but let's get to that. And that's actually really important. I'm going to change that right now. And now we have Z's. So this is a mounted dragon. And there has been a lot of debate. Some people have debated who is better as a mounted dragon. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think is the top mounted general dragon right here? Lots of people think the tiebreaker is the debuff on enemy ground troop and enemy ground and mounted defense. I still use Nidhogg as my go-to, and I just, this one isn't maxed out yet, so it is a reason why I would do that, but also I just generally, I like him. I think that he is better, but anyways, this goes on a mounted general. Here, this one starts to give you lots of options. So you have this on the wall, and it's obviously a wall general dragon. You can see here in city, it's way, way better than Thebes. So now Thebes is a reinforcing dragon. So you have multiple marches, and you should still leave Fafnir as siege, because you could have Fafnir as your T11 dragon. And then this dragon you could use for reinforcing because it has in-city siege. And right there, siege, and in-city siege. So I'm actually going to fix these refines and change them over to siege attack now. One of those things you just get a little lazy with and don't do all right away, because you just kind of want to wait and see how things play out, but there's no real reason to wait anymore. So let me know what you guys think on where all these dragons should go, and subscribe, leave a comment.